But yes, no, Kel's out here lying, I heard.
Yeah, they're saying that he is saying that his wife cheated on him and had an abortion, and then he played it up like she had multiple abortions. So I wanted to check it out and see what he had to say. Uh-oh.
I didn't. Relationship is very important, and you need to let people know how you feel. At that time, really wasn't doing that.
Right.
There was a trust thing. You know what I mean? I had already been through death, within my family in Chicago, and all these things were going on. At this point, both of my uncles was murdered. I had a friend that was murdered that we talked about. Yep. All this happened around the same time. And so there wasn't any, I wasn't seeing any therapist or anything of that nature. I was just working constantly with working on the show, and within doing that. And then at that time too, I ended up marrying my ex-wife, because we had another baby. We had the baby, right? We had the abortion, but then we had a baby. And she ended up telling me that the baby that was aborted wasn't mine. And so within that process, you are immediately married within a lie already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So the marriage was never the same after that, was it?
No, it was. This is at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This is right at the beginning. And so within that process,
she probably should have kept that to herself.
Okay, so then she goes on and she comes out and she has some things to say.
Anyway, so Kel's math isn't mathing. He is not.
Let me.
Of your life. So I figured that I had to accept Kel for who he was because he was my husband. But along the way, I realized that there were just some things that I could not accept. And once I stopped accepting those things that he wanted me to accept, that's when the man got completely psycho and crazy, and this really began the narcissistic nightmare that I'm still like. I hope people are realizing that this is why this is still trauma, right? Because still, so many years ago, this man is lying about abortions. I mean, just the fact that you're even lying about abortions is crazy. That's like really crazy work. But then also to state that because of these fake abortions or because of cheating, because of me cheating, this man said he wanted to kill himself. I mean, just think about how narcissistic that sounds, right? Another thing is, and I want to clarify this very much. In the interview, Kel is acting like, we did not want our son and it was a secret. It was not a secret. It was never a secret. We wanted our son. He's the one who wanted me to get pregnant with the son. We told everybody. Both of our parents knew as soon as we found out that we were pregnant. And so there was no sneaking around. It was not a shock. Every single person knew, and he made it a point to make everybody know. So like, that's even crazy to me, because when this was happening, as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, he was so excited, and his parents, everyone was so excited. And is not talking about me. I am not the one that is pregnant. It's not even physically possible. The very first time that I had sex, I was impregnated with my son, who is here, and he's alive and well, and there could not have been an abortion in between any of that, because obviously that's not how it works, right? So we were 18 when our first child was born, so I don't know what he's talking about. And then 19, nobody was born. But that's why I'm saying that, I really do think that sometimes when people have mental issues and they have, well, I don't even know if it's a mental issue, really. I just think that Kel is such a bitch that he thinks that this is how like he stays famous, is to just act like like a poor guy with my wife cheating on me. Like it makes the stuff that he did to myself and our children more tolerable, because I'm such a terrible whore slutty woman who sleeps around. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? It's really interesting to me, because he lies about stuff that's just ridiculous, very, very ridiculous. And all of this abortions and all this stuff. And the reason why he says all of these things, I think, are because he's a narcissist. And I have done several videos about how narcissists abuse you at your weakest moments. And so one thing that I had to do, and I'm also a mathematician, so I'm always paying attention to patterns, and I had made a journal. In my journal, I realized that, oh my gosh, that Kel physically abuses me anytime I come out of the hospital, because that's when I'm at my weakest. And so I think that what Kel is trying to do, he's trying to recreate the story to make there be a reason other than the fact that I'm really sick and I have a critical disease, and so I'm forced to go to the hospital a lot. And so he doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for me with all the medical records. So instead, he's trying to equate me going to the hospital with abortions, which is, unfortunately what these kinds of narcissists do. And the old
Okay, so that's part of what she said. She has a whole nother video where she, I guess, tells more information, but I do want to get into what their child said, because the child had something to say to him as well. So let me get into that. The child says, Dad, I honestly don't understand why you keep putting this out here when I've told you how men I have been contacting me, calling me a slut because of my mother. I am your daughter. As a woman, I'm also disappointed in you. I'd choose a bear over a man. Damn.
children. When that was taken away to a thing where I'm going to court, right? And I'm fighting to see my children, meaning that let's finish this divorce. She didn't want the divorce to end. So in her mind, it's just like, oh, well, no, I'm going to make this go on as long as possible.
Right.
And I'm going to court and she's not showing up. I'm trying to go find out where they're at. You know what I mean? And I can't go. I'm trying to go to the house and like, yo, what's going on? And she called the cops because I want to see the kids and go, he tried to break in. Her dude's going along with it. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm not going. She said, hey, I'm going to make your life a living hell. I don't want you. You need to stay. That was the thing. And after.
Oh, wow. So there's more. So the daughter pretty much goes in on her dad. She says, and my stepdad didn't change our names to hide us away from you. We've talked about this, and you know why it was, because my mom never wanted my little siblings to feel different than us. I begged to take over my stepdad last name. He made it a cute ceremonial thing because it was him accepting me as his daughter. You got my brother and I tested to see if we were even yours, while the dad who stepped up took over the role you let go. Please speak the truth. And when people would Google us and see that our last name is Mitchell, and it was embarrassing to say my dad wasn't there. So by taking my stepdad's name, I felt like every other kid in the class from a 2-parent household. Please don't blame either parent for the ignorance of young men that are not worth your time at all. You are God's child, regardless of anything. She says, I agree on the first part. Last part, you're projecting. I don't have daddy issues because I had a dad. It just wasn't him. Damn. Okay.
So
I don't know. Something's up with Kel and her for me. Something is I don't know. I'm gonna have to dive deeper into the situation.
Mathematician. I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
Do y'all think it was right for him to speak on abortions, knowing that if let's say she did confirm that, hey, these are not your kids, do you think it was his place to tell technically her business since they didn't belong to him?
No.
Or you think that was fair for him to tell?
I don't think it was fair because I feel like he was trying to slut shame her out of like revenge. Like there's no point to it. If y'all not together anymore, what is the point of you even talking about this woman? And as the daughter said, when you put mom out there like that, you put me out there like that. And he don't even care about that. So at the end of the day, I know that we can say she's off. And I can agree because she talking, real weird and shit. She all close to the camera, bitch. Whenever you be too close to the camera, like, bitch, you can't see yourself. What's going on? So I get it. But at the same time, I don't believe nothing that Kel is talking about. I just don't. I don't feel like Kel is honest. I feel like Kel has been put out here a long time ago for not being a good father. And so now to get up here with your wet eyes, looking like you just finished crying and some shit, like, nigga, go play a role and get some money or something like that. But you trying to slut shame your old lady on club, your ex old lady on club, Shay, like that's whack as fuck. And at the end of the day, like whatever was going on with that lady Coochie, like we don't care. We barely care about you. Why you think we care about what happened with her?
You
Like,
know
I don't-
what?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think now. I'm starting to think when you say you don't believe him, and just everything you said got me thinking, like, yo, I'm starting to think he probably did this on purpose. He went on Club Shay Shay for a reason. A lot of people do, to get whatever clout. And you knew that when you start talking about her, she was going to speak out and say something.
Respond.
And then it was going to go into the blogs. So now I'm over here like it was a scheme that you set up to come to us with the bullshit. That's what I'm starting to
Yeah.
think.
Part of me don't believe him either. Part of me, it could go two ways. Either he's lying flat out, or it happened, but he's not telling us the second half of it, which is y'all weren't together at the time and y'all decided to get back together after a while. Like it's something going on.
Mhm.
In another blog post, I saw a lot of people saying that she alleged that he was gay. And I think that that's what she was
Nick
she was
Cannon.
alluding to.
Nick Cannon wearing her cheerleading uniform was one of the stories that came out.
Oh, another time they got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the beginning of the video, she was talking about once she was able to accept something or she couldn't accept something about him. I think she was like alluding to him being gay. So what I'm saying is the piece that may also be left out, it may be a third scenario to this. Maybe y'all both was messing with the men together. I don't know. And everybody's
What's
just
crazy?
telling like 2 parts of a 3-part story.
Very true. Shannon, I don't know. I mean, Shannon ain't tired because he's making too much money. But I feel like this is a third person that went onto this man's show and then capped about a woman. I feel like what's that boy? Desi Banks did it, and then she was airing him out on TikTok. You got Kel doing it. And then I haven't seen Gary Owens' interview yet, but I think Gary even said some stuff that was problematic and not completely actual factual. So I don't know what the hell y'all got going on.
Gary is being delusional about whatever happened with his wife and the kids. Cause I'm like, yeah,
I
nigga,
think
you
so.
really don't know why these kids don't fucking like you? Really? I don't believe you.
I think so too.
I mean, if I'm being real, any person that's an actor or a comedian or entertainer, it's a possibility, especially men. It's a huge possibility that you were not there for your kids at all. And you probably made their mom a nuisance for wanting you to be home and spend time with them. And so
he kind of says that though. He did say that.
Oh, yeah.
After so much or so many times of saying he didn't know why, he also said he was on the road.
And that's it. Them kids gonna pick their mama's side because their mama was there, my nigga. Like that's just what it is. And if you cheating and doing all this dog ass shit, I feel like the only thing you can do is be patient and be humble about it. Because at the end of the day, like again, you weren't there.
That's what he said. He said that too.
Good.
He said he was just gonna wait for them to come back, come around, basically.
Good.
Oh,
He low
wow.
key be acting sometimes like he's just oblivious. I'm like, nigga, how many times we gotta hear you talk about? I have no idea why they're upset at me. I don't know. Like,
Y'all,
whatever.
if Brian McKnight make his ass over there to Club Shay Shay, I'm done.
Listen, get him on there.
I'm sure they've already reached out.
I'll go watch him lie and gaslight the whole public and have his children crying at home and shit. Like, let me tell y'all something. When I tell y'all, he has ruined Martin. He has ruined my wife and kids. Cause I don't want to hear you singing no more love songs, you unloving ass nigga. Cause if you don't love your children, I don't want to hear you sing. There will never come a day you'll never
It actually
care. I don't
won't.
want to hear it.
You'll ever hear me say that I want and
Listen,
need you in my
need you
life.
in my
Like,
life.
I
No.
don't want or need them kids. I hate that. That's horrible.
No, he's a terrible person, and I don't care what he says. Like, there's nothing that you could tell me that all 3 of them kids did in order for you to shun them the way you have. You're a terrible human being, and there's a special place in hell for you. I think so. I think so. Sister
Right.
too. Psh, nigga ruining all of the shows.
Oh, I think he was on there. Yeah, I think he was on there.
Couldn't get a Grammy, but
Yeah.
kept popping up on people's TV shows.
Oh.